Hey y'all, I'm Patrick Haggerty with ROI Training, and in today's video, I'd like to show you how to enable locks and retention on Google Cloud storage buckets. Now, I have a page I created just as a place to capture a lot of links I find helpful related to Google Cloud. You can find this page at roi-links.com/GCP links. In it, I have a data subsection with a cloud storage subsection. And you'll notice I actually have a link to the retention policies and locks documentation page in Google Cloud. Now, if you want a conceptual overview of retention policies and locks, check out the overview page. I'm actually looking at the using page. Now, for my example here, I have created a retain me bucket in one of my sample projects here. If I go into my bucket, you'll notice that really when you're applying retention policies, the two easiest ways to do that is with the web browser or with gcloud, the gsutil command line utility, right? I'm going to go ahead and use just the browser console here, although there's a nice example of setting and getting retention with gsutil in the page documentation. So essentially, looking at my bucket right now, you'll see there's actually a retention tab. If I go to retention, I have an option to set retention policies. I can set a retention policy, and you'll notice that there are several standard units, both in this web page and in the gsutil version of the same, for how long do I want to retain it. If I want to make sure that all the files are retained for 1 month, I can configure that. Set your period, set your unit, click save, it'll add the retention for you. So what this now says is if I upload a file, it will have to stay in the bucket for a month before it can be deleted. Now, a default retention policy, you can get rid of at any point in time. So I can add a retention policy. I can also edit that retention policy or delete that retention policy later on. If you need it, you can also enable a lock on a retention policy. Notice when you lock a retention policy, it tells you this action is permanent. By locking the policy, you'll incur storage costs for the full retention period of the bucket's objects. Okay. This retention policy enforces its 1 month retention. Okay, so what this means is if I lock it, it'll force me to put my bucket name in here, retain me. If I lock the policy, then you'll notice that that policy is locked. What that means is if I now upload a file into retain me, it will stay there at least a month, and that's the only option. Notice gone is the delete option. The only thing you can do change-wise to a locked retention is if you edit it, you can extend the policy so it's longer than a month, or you can delete the entire bucket, right? So I've said these files have to be here a month. They're going to have to be here a month. I have no option. The only workaround for a locked bucket is to delete the entire bucket itself, which again, remember, is a role I can grant or deny people. So if I want to lock a button and I want to make sure no one can delete it but me, that's something I can do with IAM configurations. Excellent. Good deal. So a nice, easy example of enabling retention, and then if you want or need it, locking it. I'm Patrick Haggerty from ROI Training, and I hope you've enjoyed this video.